Well, now that what I don't even I'm not going to get into it. Welcome to the show. What I was going to say is because a lot of you guys are absolutely music snobs and I don't even know what you people like. I don't even know what you people like. That's Lawrence, the great Lawrence, the brother sister band out of New York. They've been around for I don't know 5-10 years. They're amazing. They had a top 40 hit this summer called What You Want. They were on the Tonight Show. They're really fucking good, but they're a band out of their time at this point. Nobody wants music like this anymore. This is if you let me tell you something, all you people bitching about the day, the world, uh this is how it was in the 80s. Is music like that. Top 40 good fucking shit. Sounds like Huey Lewis in the news. So suck it down, motherfucker. John Romero is about to make you his bitch. Welcome to the show. Welcome. What did I see Grums last night tweeting that? Whatever happened to this John Romero? And he was tweeting the ad where it's like John Romero is going to make you his bitch. And it's like, I don't know. He basically moved to Ireland with his beautiful, smart wife, and they opened a video game company, and they continue, no matter what the haters say, to keep making really cool, interesting games. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe you should try it. Welcome to the show. The goddamn right, there's a dildo under there I'm sitting on. Welcome to the show. Oh, I got lightheaded doing that comedy routine. It's good to see you. Welcome to Jaffe Stream. If you're here for the video game news, that's coming up later in the afternoon on a show I do called Gabbing Games, which will be around 3, 4, whatever, in the late afternoon, early evening, depending on where you live. But this is just sort of a show about all kinds of weird stuff, wacky stuff, fun stuff, the news, just the world in which we all live and share. I want to let you know, I'm going to give you a opportunity a little bit later in the show to win a Christmas gift. Not a big, it's stocking stuffer, but it's very cool. It's a new board game going around, or new card game going around, and every single person in the chat has a chance to win it. I wish you luck. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. It's called Not a Word, and we'll be playing it about 40 minutes into the show. Before we get to the news, we have another little contest. There's no prize except you just get to prove how fucking smart you are. I'm going to play something for you, and I want you to tell me, can I even play this without you seeing it? Let me see. I think I can. I want you to tell me if you know what this is. Now, not the image on the screen. The image on the screen is a different thing because I didn't want you to see what I'm playing. It's a different tab. That's the video we open with. But can you hear this? And if you can hear it, do you know what you're listening to? I'll tell you in about 30, 40 minutes. You can Shazam that shit all day. I don't think it's going to help you. It's kind of amazing. Kind of amazing what you're listening to. I hope you can even hear it. I assure you, you won't be able to translate it. You know what this is? You know what you're listening to? It's incredible. It's incredible. All right, that's all you get. That's all you get. Because it's over. That's all you get anyway. Because that's all we have. But I'll tell you what that is a little bit later. In the meantime, it's not Kama Sutra mood music. No. It does sound Arabic and kind of, sort of. Okay, now listen. I'll tell you what that is in a bit. I want to tell you something else. I do not have a vagina, but sometimes I think about it and wonder if I do have one and I just can't find it. But I also have a reason to think I don't have a vagina. This is my point. The Sex Lives of College Girls on HBO Max Original, whatever. They're into their 3rd season. I've been watching it from the beginning. I like this show. It's really good. And sometimes I think about the fact that, why do I like this show? Should I be worried? Why would I be worried? Who gives a shit? Like what you like. But I really do like this show. It's like a new version of Sex and the City. But then I also find things I like this, and I feel better about myself. I feel like, okay, I clearly have some kind of wonderful yin-yang balance. This is called Lust of the Dead. I don't know what it is, but it's got sexy Japanese nurses and schoolgirls, and I think this one's dressed like a baby, but she's not a baby. She's a goddamn grown woman. I don't know what she's dressed as, a samurai, and they got machine guns and zombies back there, and she has a sword. So I feel I feel a lot better about things. I just want to let you know, in case you were worried that I was kind of going, well, Jesus, Jaffe, what's the matter with you? Not much. Fuck you is what I would say. But I do like both of these. And I do like this show. If you watch this show, The Sex Lives of the College Girls, it's by Mindy Kaling. And of course, they've picked a title that's salacious. They've picked a title that's supposed to be, Adam says he's still worried. They've picked a title that's supposed to make you, ooh, what's that all about? But it really isn't. I mean, yes, they have sex in the show, but it's much more, it's not like a Sex in the City thing. It's like a friendship show, blah, blah, blah. Go fuck yourself. And then here's some zombies. Okay, let us move forward. You see the Superman teaser to the trailer? Shut up, Kajina. She says, I have a vagina. You know what? Fuck you. That was our secret. That's fine. That's fine. Well, you have to deliver the baby. Look, Superman, Jimmy Gunn dropped a Superman trailer, teaser to the teaser, which people are upset. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm excited for the movie. I love Superman, favorite superhero. You know, people online, of course, because that's how you get paid, or divided about it. James Gunn, I don't think, has ever directed a bad movie. He's never directed, you know, it doesn't mean that every movie he's made is a classic or even close to a classic, but he makes more than above average motion picture shows. I'm looking forward to the trailer. I'm looking forward to the movie. Matthew says, I'm not watching a teaser to a teaser. Sure you are. Sure you are. But yeah, people are saying it looks like a TV show. I don't care. I mean, I really don't care. The only thing that stood out to me that's a little weird. I mean, first off, you got Rachel Brosnahan, whatever, however you say her name, who was the lady in Maisel on Amazon, which great show. She was also in House of Cards for a little bit. She's wonderful. She's beautiful. She's funny. She's Lois Lane. There she is right there. There's Jimmy Olsen right there. That's pretty good casting. Pretty good casting. Then you got Ted Lasso in the back. I don't know what the fuck that guy's doing, but Metalhead says the new Superman teaser looked cheap. Must be the color grading. It feels like a step down from Man of Steel. Maybe. I'm not worried. I think James Gunn's a much better movie director than Zack Snyder. I think Zack Snyder obviously is a wonderful cinematographer. He's made some great movies. I thought his zombie movie he made, what was that, Day of the Dead or whatever, was excellent. I think some of his superhero stuff is good, but I don't think he's anywhere near as good of a storyteller. He's more like Tim Burton. Like, he's a great visual director, but his narrative chops are But no, I'm looking forward to this. James Gunn gets the character. He seems to get the value of the character. And yeah, I'm excited. The one thing I'll say that's a little weird about this, people are talking a lot about the color, and it looks like a TV show. It's like, okay. I mean, I don't think it's going to, but I think even if James Gunn is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a movie that almost looks like guerrilla filmmaking, like it's sort of shot on video. I'd watch the fucking thing. But it also may be one of those Wizard of Oz things that until Superman shows up, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, directors are smart people. Maybe the way the movie looks is a certain way, and then Superman shows up and they slightly shift the color to show a sense of hope and optimism, and sort of almost like the idyllic view of what Superman represents. People could do it. People could do it. Directors could do it. I'd think about it. But certainly people are complaining about the color grading, which is something I never thought I'd see, that the average person knows what the fuck color grading is. I don't agree with you, Ryan. Zack Snyder is the GOAT. The studios keep interrupting his vision. No, they don't. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. The man has had enough success and enough hits that he has had several opportunities to make exactly what he wants, aka Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch came after 300, which was a huge hit. And everyone heralded the coming of a new visionary. And they said, hey, go do what you want. You're the genius. Okay, I made Sucker Punch. And again, had some amazing moments, but wasn't a good story. It wasn't a good story. Or at least it wasn't a well-executed story. The concept wasn't so bad. Austin says, hello, Jaffe. Love hearing your political opinions. Being from South Carolina, where everyone is conservative, it's nice to listen to someone I agree with. Thank you, buddy. Well, listen, I grew up in Alabama, so I understand. I have not watched the Karate Kid Legends trailer because I want to finish watching Cobra Kai. But here's what I want to say about this that actually was the one thing that struck me as weird. Is all of these people pretty much look like they dress at Marshall's, or they get their clothes from Marshall's, which is fine. I'm not judging, but I'm saying it's like they all, other than maybe Lois Lane and this lady, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, right? Look at Jimmy Olsen. And the bigger point about that is not that they don't shop at expensive places, but they look very modern, right? They look very modern people. But the newsroom looks kind of weird, right? Because you've got clearly flat screens. I'm going somewhere with this, by the way. I'm not just like nitpicking. I'm just curious. It stood out to me. You've got these flat screens, so it's clearly modern times, and you've got people with cell phones in the trailer. But you've also got these old chairs, and look at these fucking desks and these weird drawers. Like it feels like this very strange blend. The best newsrooms, like this is what a modern newsroom looks like. Modern newsrooms do not look like that picture. All right. Here's the Washington Post. If you squint, you can pretend Gene Park's in there somewhere. But this, it's much more modern. It's much more ergonomic, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of the classic newsroom in the movies, like All the President's Men. This is the sort of the looks. I don't know if he's just trying to blend that old kind of 1978 Superman Daily Planet dudes with coffee cups and rolled up shirt sleeves and cigars and Parker and whatever, Kent, with modern people. It's a little weird. Brad Glasgow says modern newsrooms look like sadness and depression and layoffs. I have to assume they're dealing with that. I mean, here's the thing about this. Superman and Clark Kent are both people conceptually out of their time. And the real question to me is that going to be dealt with? You can't really do a story about newspapers anymore, right? Without addressing the issue of newspapers are dead and owned by conglomerates. You can't really do a story about this optimistic, happy guy who wants to be, a beacon of hope to the world without dealing with the fact that you live in a very negative, nihilistic time. So I think the movie's going to deal with those. I think James Gunn is smart enough to understand where this story fits in the current culture. But we'll see. I'm the only person that thinks Jimmy Gunn is overrated, says Jules. I hope it's good. I love Superman, but if it sucks, that's bad. Warner Brothers gave the kingdom to the guy. Well, I mean, I don't think you're the only person that thinks Jimmy Gunn is overrated. I don't think he's amazing. I think he is good. I think he is a good storyteller. I think his movies have been above average, and I clearly, he reminds me of Kevin Feige a little bit in that he clearly loves Superman. But, who knows who the right guy is? I don't fucking know. Or girl or whatever. The girl on the left looks like a hooker. My guess is that's Metalhead. I guess this woman on the left here, I know there's a character in the comics that I think I could point to and say, oh, that's her. But I don't read a lot of Superman modern comics. It's not Lex's assistant. What's her name? I forget what her name is, but Blackjack says we want escapism, not realism. Please stop speaking for everyone. It's the most obnoxious part of the internet to me. Don't tell me what we want. You can say you want that. But here's the deal. Escapism without a touch of realism doesn't feel like escapism. It feels like you're being lied to. If you want escapism, just go get some fucking DMT or some mushrooms and put on Fantasia. That'll scratch the itch. But did I hear the theme for the movie? Rob says, oh, fuck yeah, I did. I mean, it's the John Williams theme. But it's obviously redone, and it's it's kind of got almost like a Gladiator. If you remember the original Gladiator soundtrack with I forget what her name was, but with Hans Zimmer and this woman who was like, it's got this kind of kind of chanting vibe to it, which I like. I really, really like. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see it. I don't care what you say, you're wrong, but here's what I'll tell you. Does every movie need to reflect our modern society? I'm not saying it needs to reflect the modern society. I'm saying that if you don't ground it in something that is relatable, even if it is escapism, what are you escaping from? Right? I don't mean to be a dick, Blackjack, but not everybody knows how stories work. I'm not good at writing them, but I know how they work. I know how a narrative works. And if you just do crazy escapism and you don't ground it in something that's relatable, it doesn't land. It doesn't hit. You need something in there that can give you a sense of, this is, even though I'm not a superhero, I don't work at the Daily Planet, blah, blah, blah. This is about me. This is about my experiences. These are about these people I can relate to. So, give the fucking thing a chance. But there's a reason that movies that come out that are just meant, it's just going to be crazy fun and there's no meat on the bone. it's like Transformers. It comes in and out of your brain and it's fine and it gets the job done, but it doesn't stick with you. It doesn't move you. It doesn't become part of your, toolkit of like thinking about narrative and stories and things that can inspire you. So I don't agree with you. I think you're just wrong all over the place when it comes to this. Okay. Jaffe, do your kids eat meat? Why do you care? You've asked that twice now. Why? If you give me a good reason why you're interested in the diet of my children, I'm more than happy to answer that question. You goddamn right. Fuzzy says that's basically the whole reason Marvel movies have been successful. Yes, 100%. But and that's the reason Marvel comics were successful. Fuzzy says Marvel, but yeah, Marvel in general, because Stan Lee's like, hey, you know what? We can't just do cardboard cutouts. We have to do action adventure escapism, but it's got to be grounded. Otherwise people won't, they won't connect with it. The other thing I'll say real quick is I was looking this up and I looked up the Daily Bugle or the Daily Planet. And I was like, well, where's this from? Do you know there's actually a website called the Daily Planet? It's not affiliated at all with DC. And at first I kind of figured, at first I figured, well, what this is it's like comic book stuff, but it really isn't. They've got like news and they've got entertainment, culture, and it's relatively new. But it's like a real fucking paper. I mean, I'm sure if it ever took off, DC would be like, yeah, you can't do that. I don't think this is, I could be wrong, but I do not think this is viral marketing. Because it covers other things. Yes, Superman's in there, but so is Marvel. Their actual Twitter account says it's not affiliated with DC, which makes me kind of go, okay, well, legally speaking, if you're an ad, you have to say you're somehow affiliated, if I remember correctly. So I don't know what this is. Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat if anybody wants to look, do a little detective work. Okay, there it is right there. Now, again, maybe, hang on. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Stan Lee was known to be very difficult with his designers, so they made practical and believable costumes, not just cool. It's always somehow grounded. Well, Stan Lee was a bit of a challenging character anyway. I had a writer on, the author of the book True Believer about Stan Lee. It was an excellent book. And, he really dove into it. It wasn't a hit piece or anything, but it was like, look, the guy was a marketer and he did a lot of great creative work, but he took a lot of credit for a lot of people. But then again, the Spider-Man costume was probably ripped off from a Halloween store. So, who knows? I don't fucking know. Anyway, like I said, don't forget in a little bit, we're going to be playing this game, Not a Word. You will have a chance to win a copy for it yourself, later in the show. But you got to be creative. You got to be smart. You got to be plucky. You got to be attractive. And I don't know about any of these things, but you do got to be creative. That'll be coming up in about 20 minutes or so. Okay. I want to tell you, if I may, if you do want to call in to the show, there's a link at the top on the YouTube there. I know Plazukas is in the waiting room. I will bring him on in just a second. But I want to tell you guys something that has really changed my life. Hang on. Ryan says, Jaffe, what are your thoughts on a Marvel Unlimited, the comic book subscription? It's the Game Pass of comic or Netflix. Yeah. I have it. I've had it since it appeared. I love it. I also have the DC one. I do miss reading paper comics, but the deal is too good of a deal to not really embrace the shit out of it. If you don't know, it's basically, I'll show you. It's let me bring this up real quick. So the DC one's got one. They got a couple of different prices that you can get comics almost right away. Marvel Unlimited, I think, put their comics up 30 or 60 days after they hit the shop. So this is the biggest problem with Marvel Unlimited for me is that I read it on my computer, and when you read it on your computer, the interface is nowhere near as good. But it's exactly what it sounds like. Here, I'll show you the DC one. The interface is a little bit better. DC Universe Infinite. This is what it looks like. Show on stream. So let me zoom out a little bit. Signed in Indiana Jaffe, Batman's metal logo, and yeah, you get exactly what it looks like. You get latest releases. Then you can get Ultra, which is more expensive, but they're like I think 30 days after. And then you can also get graphic novels they have and classic comics. And it's if you love comics, and I absolutely love comics, I highly recommend it. And then if you go to Marvel now, Marvel's got Aliens and Predator and all the Fox stuff over there as well. So I would absolutely look at it and consider it. But I will say that I don't know how these things do. I don't know if kids read comics anymore, but I sure wish. I mean, I don't care if they do or not. It's everybody's got their own shit. But I fucking love this shit. Okay. Where did it go? Batman comic number 1 was a ripoff of an episode of The Shadow. Oh, well, yeah, of course, Movie Maniac. I mean, they're all, am I going to debate Asmongold? What about? I mean, Asmongold's a huge fucking YouTuber. He's really doesn't need to be debating me unless he's curious about me, and would be happy to jump on a mic with the guy. And I've tried to reach out, or I have reached out to those guys. But I clearly don't think the guy's interested, and that's fine. I mean, is there something I should be debating the guy on or about? Has he said something that is debatable? But in the meantime, speaking of, let me explain something to you. Now, I watched the first episode of what is it called? What We Do in the Dark and the Shadows, the vampire mockumentary, and I liked it, but I just kind of was slow and I never got back to it. But I know it's supposed to be hilarious. And I saw this yesterday, and I can't play it. I don't want to get copyright. But I know what it's from. I know it's not real. People are like, that's not real, Jaffe. I'm like, yeah, it's not real, but it's fucking real. Because and this has changed my life, at least for the last 2 days. We'll see if it sticks. But this is oh, fuck it. I'll play it here. Watch this real quick. This has totally changed how I deal with the internet now. I know it sounds crazy, but it has changed how I deal with the goddamn internet. Watch this. And I'll just cut it if it turns out that, maybe if it turns out that YouTube doesn't like me showing this. But here you go. This is from What We Do in the Shadows. All right.
One of the best ways to drain people's energy nowadays is via the internet. This woman is an astrophysicist. Actually, this is not how space works. Read a book. Now I just wait for the comments to come in. Hey, can you mansplain any louder? Yeah, sure. These are all different accounts that I have set up. The energy you get this way isn't quite as pure, but if you do enough of it, it'll fill you up. Shanghai sucked. Where was the Chinatown? Jason Mraz is just too weird for me. Jesus actually hates horses. Childhood obesity, LMFO. When they call you a dumbass, you know you've got them. They called me a dumbass. Women are getting too tall. Yeah. You can drain their energy via social media without having to even be near them. That is racist. You're correct. It is. Oh, yeah. 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 Oh, they hate me.
It's surprisingly simple to get total strangers completely furious with you.
They should get a life.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, I now again, I'm not saying there aren't people out there that are serious when they post shit to me, but once I saw this, even though I knew there were a number of people that were, of course, trolling, it's easy to believe that yes, some are, but a lot aren't, and it's better to go ahead and just attack the ones that aren't because you never know. But then when I saw this, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. You got me. You got me for years. And now I'm just kind of like, no. Curtis says I do that sometimes. Right. I've never done it. It would never occur to me to do that. Although now I might start. But I mean, I do it a little bit, but not often enough to really consider myself someone who does this, And now that I see this, I'm just like, oh my God, Jaffe, why would you spend any time responding to anyone about, unless they, if they want to engage in good faith, you'll be able to tell. But if they really are coming at you with this shit, I'm just like, oh dude, Jaffe, stop. And so I'm so grateful. This is karma. This is Jesus. This is the baby Jesus coming and saying, dude, I got you. We are walking on the beach and these are my footsteps or whatever the poem is. I got you. Okay. So, people do love to troll me because I take the bait, but no more. You won't catch me anymore. You had me for a while, but this is like in Rocky when, you think Ivan Drago is going to run away with it all, but no. Look at Brad Glasgow. Fuck you, Brad Glasgow. You can't say that. He says Taylor Swift is overrated. I will fucking kill you. Okay. Hang on. All right, let's move forward, shall we? Listen to this now. I'm going to tell you something. People say, well, Jaffe, thank you, Rob. People say, Jaffe, why? Now you guys are just trying. Matthew says, Jaffe doesn't know how to make God of War. Look, Ryan, the reason I'm ignoring you, he says, are we still pals? Did I piss you off? Ryan, I'm ignoring you because your comment is literally, I know this isn't your gaming show, but can you comment? And then he goes on about a game. Yeah, at the gaming show. I'm not doing it here. He's probably doing it to me right now. God damn it. But listen, though, seriously. So people say, well, why do you have a blue check, Jaffe? The only reason I have a blue check is that when I send out a tweet letting people know, hey, there's a Gabbin' and Games or there's a Jaffe stream or whatever, it goes to more people and it does pull people into the show, right? That's the only reason I pay for it. I don't make any money off it. I couldn't anyway, because I think I've been banned from making money for some post I did. And I'm like, really? But anyway, whatever. But so I couldn't be less interested in this though, which is now Elon Musk is starting an email service and he's trying to rival Gmail called Xmail. Now, I look, whatever you think of Elon Musk, in terms of what he's brought to the world, whatever he's, whether he's a shyster, whether he's a genius, whether he's somewhere in between, whatever, is kind of irrelevant. But you gotta give me that you probably shouldn't trust this guy. I would not trust this motherfucker. Not that Google's necessarily, better, but at least it's kind of, the power is spread amongst a bunch of evil people. So it's like a lot of little evil people. You think I would trust Elon Musk not to be going through people's emails and fucking with people? Fuck no. There's no fucking way on God's green earth I would do that. And if you need a little bit of prodding to learn that I'm right on this is what he tweeted in November. And I know you can say it's a joke, but I don't know with this guy. I think sometimes he gets like one of these online geeks and really tweets shit and believes it. Like Grums, where he's like, we're in a fight, blah, blah, blah. He says, there's a large graveyard filled with my enemies, says Elon Musk. I do not wish to add to it, but will if given no choice. Those who pick fights with me do so at their own peril, but maybe this is their lucky day. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to trust you with anything, let alone my fucking email. Now, and again, Elon could be a world grade troll, but what you have to understand is the media has just awarded him right above Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan came in at number 2. Elon Musk came in at number 1 as the most influential person in media right now. So I'm just saying, it's probably he's trolling, but at the same time, who knows? I'm not trusting this motherfucker with any goddamn thing. Certainly not my email. Certainly not putting shit in my goddamn brain. Well, they're not Musk's ideas. Scoozer Boot says some ideas Musk has, some just don't take off. They're not his ideas. They're his investments, which is wonderful. I think he's a smart investor is what I think. Yeah, but enjoy the guy. Don't enjoy. I don't give a shit. But the point is, there are people like this that are not trolls. And with Elon, I can't really tell. Sometimes I think Elon hides his neurodivergency behind I'm just kidding. I'm just a troll. Ha, we're in on the joke. But deep inside, he means it. Like there used to be this guy at the GameStop up in San Mateo when I worked in Foster City, Sony. And you'd walk in and he really, I don't know if he thought he was a wizard or not, but he talked to everybody like he was a wizard. So he'd be like, hello, fellow travelers. He'd say that to anybody who walked in. He'd talk about his adventures and hobbits and shit. He was a very neurodivergent young man. And so there are people like that really do. I don't think he thought he was a wizard, but I think he thought, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do this because I like being a wizard. I like pretending I'm a wizard. And so I think Elon's probably in that to some extent. And then he just kind of hides it by saying it's not true. But I don't fucking know. The point is, fuck him. I'm not going to do any goddamn email with him. Okay. Jaffe, I've just completed a live stream on the Xbox Series X. Congratulations, Art of Interactive Storytelling. That's wonderful. Was it your first live stream? How did it feel? Did people show up? Did they like it? Look at this. I was talking to my brother yesterday about this. Pornhub. So my brother gets a VPN. I says, why don't you get a VPN? He says, well, in Alabama now, there's just all these rules that are taking place in January about, websites blocked. And I said, well, you can't really do that. You can't block people's websites. At least the government can't do it. And he says, well, it's Alabama. And if it goes all the way to the Supreme Court, this particular Supreme Court may fucking let him do it. So, he's not wrong. And then I saw this because we were looking on the last stream or the stream before that, the 2024 report of the Pornhub sites, of like what was the most searched term in Pornhub and what women watched and what men watched and what video game characters had the most porn this year, blah, blah, blah. And there were a number of states, because one of the maps it's always fun to look at is this is the number one porn term searched in each state in America. But suddenly this year, when you pull out, there's a bunch of states that are gray. And it's I guess it's because of this. Now, on the surface, this doesn't sound bad. It doesn't, it's not, kids are going to get porn anyway, right? So I'm not worried about the kids. But this is apparently meant to be a parental control, right? Where it's like, look, we're not saying porn's illegal, but if you're under 18, you can't have this stuff. It's not for you. Okay, fine. Maybe, but okay, they're going to get it anyway, but okay, fine. And here's though, and I said, so kind of what's the problem? And my brother said this, and I was like, oh, it's a really good point. He's like, basically, let's just take Pornhub, but it's not just Pornhub. It could be any website. Anything you're interested in that has this, that people say, oh, that's not for kids. Maybe it's M-rated video game advertisements, whatever the fuck it is. If you want access, you have to enter your driver's license in order to prove that you are over 18. Well, the minute you enter your driver's license and say, hi, I'm David Jaffe. This is my driver's license. These are the kind of websites I like to go to. This is the kind of porn I watch. This is the kind of gun show places I like to go. This is the kind of meetup groups I attend of certain political affiliations, whatever. Well, suddenly you're just basically telling whoever, the powers that be in the government, you're on a fucking list. And I think that's a real fucking problem. I think it's a real fucking problem because it's not that it's bad to protect the kids if that's what you want, if you're a parent, but it's really bad that if you're in Florida, and I get why Pornhub would basically say, fuck it, we're out. Because if you're an adult in Florida, you put in this, you're like, oh, I'm not a kid, so here, let me have my porn. Yeah, and guess who else is getting your fucking porn? It's ridiculous. It is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And I understand there are conservatives that watch this show, and that's great. And maybe what you can do if you're a conservative that watches this show is explain to me how you can support something like this, because you're supposed to be it does everyone. Nobody wants big government. I think the left want more government to step in with solutions more often than the right. But this is really bad. This is really bad. This is and we have the courts now stacked with a lot of Trump appointees, and they may not overturn this. They may say, no, this is acceptable. The conservatives probably go to Pornhub more than liberals, says Brad. I have that data. It was probably, now it's kind of getting harder to get the data in those states, but sure. Mutemo is about to be on the government watch list, says Rob. Oh, he's enemy number one. He's on wanted posters in the post office now. Yeah, Florida's the land of strip joints. Again, it's not even, this is what I'm saying. It's not about Florida acting like sex is bad. It's about Florida going, we want to know, and the government going, we want to know what you're doing, what you're watching. Are you one of us or you're not one of us? At least that's what it seems like. Because if you want to keep your kids off Pornhub, it's like, look, why? Why do you want to prevent your children from, looking at something they're interested in or they happen across? And if you do, I get that. But is it so important that this is the only solution you can come up with? I mean, what about the parent that has to basically pay for the internet? And then if the parent wants to say, hey, forget net nanny, all that, I'm going right to my ISP. Unless you enter this password, you cannot send me to that site. There's ways to solve this that are not this. So I think it's a real problem. I think it's a real fucking problem. Okay. If God didn't want us to watch porn, he wouldn't have made stepsisters. Well, Zach says porn is bad for society. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but there's a lot of things that are bad for society that aren't done in moderation. And I don't want anyone else telling me what those are, nor do you. A lot of people will say lots of things are bad for society. Who gets to decide? Again, RP says porn damages kids. I'm not surprised that there's probably truth to that. That if you're a kid, there's a lot of studies or a lot of people saying, I don't know if there's studies, that if you are a teenager, your sense of what sex is and sexuality is getting warped because of pornography and the obsession with pornography and the ease of access to pornography. Sure, maybe there's truth in that. It makes sense there would be, and let's just assume for the moment there is. Okay, then there are ways to solve it that don't trample all over everybody else's constitutional rights. It just, how do you support it? Okay. Right. Yeah. Tyler says, yeah, God is bad for society. Right. Yeah, exactly. Climate change is bad for society. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. Okay. The government is, oh, shut up, CS. Shut up. I think parents need to talk with their kids about sites like Pornhub. A lot of them do. A lot of them fucking do. It's not as if people have this idea that they're just, the parents in general don't pay any attention to their children. And it's like, no, we had conversations with our kids. We had net nannies. We've been, but we also knew that, when they were of a certain age, they were going to be curious and they were going to go out into the world on the internet, just like we did, just like every generation does. Me and my buddy Carrie would constantly find penthouses in the fucking woods in this little gutter by a friend of our, Brooks's. I don't think Brooks was putting them there. He was our age, but I think like some teenagers lived there and said, let's throw these in the gutter for the kids. And, when we were about 12, 13, we started realizing where we could find them, and we looked at them and we put them back so other kids could find them. But, that's what you do. Leave people alone. Leave people alone. But, power, baby, power. Here we go. The worst movies of 2024. Let me see what Plazukas wants real quick, and then we'll look at the worst movies of 2024 according to Metacritic. Okay. Plazukas, it's Jaffe. What's up?
Hi, Jaffe. Are we talking about games today, or are we talking about other things?
Games are in the afternoon. Everything else is in the morning. What do you want to talk about?
Yep. What did you touch on the drones thing this morning, or?
I mean, it's the only thing at this point about the drones thing is there's so many people are saying it's various things. The White House came out yesterday and said, oh, don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's kids with drones. It's man flights, blah, blah, blah. And then about 4 hours later, they had a classified meeting with the Senate about the drones. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Which one is it, White House? Is it a classified meeting that we can't know about? Because if it is, that's fine. But I don't think, then what are you not telling us? Right. So my only thing is like, I don't quite know what the fuck is going on. And that's how they want it. But I don't think there's been any new data, has there, about the drone situation? I mean, it's still kind of no one really knows. Right.
Right. I think that unfortunately that is the consensus, is nobody actually knows. And people are getting confused on whether it's a drone or a plane. Or Superman at this rate, because there's trailer jobs tomorrow.
Yes.
Have you seen any drones in your area?
Not
in
really.
Diego?
No. I mean, people have. San Diego has a lot of sightings, and apparently there's a number of military people saying we're seeing them come out or off the water, not out of the water, probably off ships into the mainland and then back. But I go out every night and I look up a lot and I'm waiting and I'm hoping, but no, I've seen nothing. I've seen nothing. But, Colin Moriarty's brother has one. I'm waiting for him to post the video. And then somebody on this very chat said they saw one last night over their house. But I don't know. And it's what I find frustrating about that whole conversation is this idea that the cynics act as if they are just like, oh, just be smart like the rest of us and let's be logical. And they're being very patronizing. It's like, dude, I don't necessarily think they're UFOs, or I don't think they're the Russians, or it could be a million things that are totally benign. It could be people have said it's the government mapping out whatever, which doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. Because if the government's doing something as benign as we're just mapping the ground, well, then just fucking tell people we're just mapping the ground. You don't need there's too many conflicts of information to say it's totally what they're telling us. But these people that are acting like I'm the cynical skeptic and I'm the wise one, it's like, fuck you, motherfucker. I know what a plane looks like. I know a bunch of these things are planes and helicopters, but I also know that planes and helicopters do not cause congressional hearings and classified hearings with the White House and senators 2 hours after they've come out and said, don't worry about it, everything's fine. So
they did conclude that there's no one cause, right? So it
nobody
looks like it might be from
concluded anything. They've said that.
Yeah, there's no one cause. So there could be multiple sources of maybe once it started, now the civilians have unfortunately got their drones out and started flying around as well.
I'm absolutely sure. Just like trolling on the internet, there's no doubt now that there was gasoline on the fire, which is people. I'm gonna go get a drone and fuck with people. Ha ha! You're great. I get it. We all get it. No one's worried about that. No one, all those things can be explained away, and you still have things that are very fishy, very suspicious. Like Highly in Dread says drones equal distraction. I get again.
Yeah.
There's this idea of, it's like, I know that. We all know that. Okay, fine. So what are they distracting us from? I follow the news religiously. What in the news am I not reading about, or hearing about? I still know what's going on in Ukraine. I still know what is happening with the people Trump is bringing onto his cabinet. I know Biden just pardoned a bunch of fucking people, but I also know that a vast majority of those people were people that were, in a huge swath were pardoned because it was marijuana sentencing. And he's like, okay, it's not that he went through his friends list and said, I'm going to pardon 5,000 people. It's like 3,000 of them were people who were basically in jail for marijuana possession. And he's like, yeah, that's gone. So what exactly are they distracting us from? I would love to know that. Right.
Yeah, and I that's what I was going to say. Who's it? Some people say it benefits Biden and the administration, the Democrats. Some people say it benefits Trump, but I don't think it benefits either one of them.
Trump doesn't have the ability to have hundreds of drones that basically cops and military. I mean, where's he getting the drones from? Maybe
it could be like the J6 thing. It could be January 6th thing all over again, where you get all these people out there, the militia, which would own drones.
Yeah, sure. But if Trump and Steve Bannon and that whole gang of pirates were out there doing that, somebody would have been like, hey, this is probably,
maybe because it's them, they're being so quiet because they're all together.
No, I'm sorry. I don't buy it.
I'll change the subject a little bit.
I think this is probably, I think we're looking for nukes. I think we're looking for. I don't know if that's
out of all the things I've heard, that was the most likely.
Right. I don't know if that's true, and I know some people have tried to shut that down, but it makes the most sense given what we're told and given how the government is acting, being very different public facing, and then turning around and doing classified briefings with, hey, I hope it's aliens. That would be great. But anyway, that's my take on it. We'll see.
Do you think that?
Wait, hang on a minute. Avoid the Void says looking for nukes, LMAO. Why is it LMAO, Avoid the Void? It makes total sense. It doesn't mean that's what they're doing, but in light of any other explanation, yeah, you do need drones for that. You're not an expert. I'm not an expert either. That's why I'm saying things based on listening to experts and repeating what they have said. What do you mean you don't need drones for that? If you can basically detect radioactive material up to half a mile away. Half a mile is 1,000 feet in the air. Guess where the drones are mostly spotted? 1 to 1,500 feet in the fucking air. The drones are flying in patterns. The drones are flying in mostly New Jersey and New York, but we've also got them on the West Coast. I'm not suggesting it is absolutely radiation, but I am suggesting that for you to say LMAO suggests that you think you've got the skinny on the real reason. Avoid says there's a reason the military uses satellites instead of binoculars and telescopes to pinpoint targets. You can't use a satellite to detect radioactive material. There's no satellite that we know of that can. I mean, how far up are satellites? Is it like 60,000 fucking feet, 100,000 fucking feet off the ground? You think satellites can detect radioactive signatures from that far away? Anyway, but we don't know what it is. None of us know what it is. Well, some people do know what it is, but we don't. Anyway, sorry. Well, let's move on. Unless somebody's got some data.
I just got one last thing. You had mentioned that you're not going to be on Last Stand Media content, probably going forward. That there was, you thought that you not being asked back is an indicator because of the last podcast you did, which I did watch. Obviously, you were in red paint, and it was a whole thing. And but here's my problem.
I did speak to Colin about this yesterday. But continue.
Oh, good. Oh, well, then I don't need to continue if you have something.
Well, because all I said was I think maybe they're dialing back the frequency of my appearances because I've been going on 2 or 3 times a month on that thing, and I loved it, and we had a good time and everything, and but then, I was hearing that people were saying that they were dropping memberships because of my comments. And there's a lot of people over there that are not my political affiliation, and I got it. And, what bothered, the baby. And what bothered me was, Colin thought I was upset with him, and he wrote me, and I said, dude, no, I like I said in my stream, I said, I totally get it. And he's like, no, that's not the case at all. We're going to have you on in January. We're trying, what, it doesn't matter why, but it wasn't that. And I'm like, okay. Cool. But I
am back on.
That's what I understand. But again, I absolutely, even if I wasn't, I have no animosity and I am, but because I'm like, if let's put it this way, if every time P Turtle came on, and even though I have massive issues with P Turtle's characters, politics, a lot of people find him funny to troll, and some people actually agree with him, whatever. But if every time he came on, I lost, 20 subscribers or 20 members, I would say, P Turtle, it's been fun, but it doesn't mean I can't like you personally, but it's just how it works. So I would have no issue with that.
Right. And I think that was the point I was going to make about Last Stand Media is like, I've watched almost every one of your appearances on Last Stand Media, and I think it's extremely important. It basically exemplifies freedom of speech, just like P Turtle coming on. It basically is right-wing talking points, which are, important to get out there because that is the full discourse of what we're talking about.
I don't think, I don't think Colin disagrees, and after talking to him, it's clear he doesn't. So
because it would change my opinion of Colin. Because
no. Yeah, this is not it wasn't that. And again, even if it wasn't because I don't like Jaffe. He said something that offended me. It would have been, which it wasn't, because hey, I run a business and I can still be buddies with Jaffe, which we are. But I still.
But I would find business. But my problem with that would be he left kind of funny. Because of that whole, kerfuffle back then, which was not being able to just speak his mind. And obviously he has dialed back the political stuff. He's talked about it, getting older, and he knows he has a very successful business now. So he's having to, unfortunately, leverage his beliefs.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a real tough thing, right? I would not think any less of anyone that said, because I can separate business from friends, right? And I can look at someone, I can look at a level designer. Like I know a great level designer, great guy, great friend, love the guy. He's been with me on and off throughout my whole career when I was making games. And if I was making an arcadey game, he would be the first guy I would call. But if I was directing a game at Naughty Dog and it was like a serious, actual, real spaces the player needs to navigate, I would probably not call him. Or if I did, I'd call him and say, yeah, he's not right for it after really walking him through it. That doesn't mean I don't have great affection for him. It just means that for the business I'm in, that particular job is probably not right. A good blend. That's all. So but again, that's not what happened anyway. So
great. Yeah, because you're a really important part of that community, I think, in my opinion. Have you tried Sora, the new open
I haven't yet. You just go there and you make videos, right?
Yeah, I just did one from an image. It's pretty impressive for what it does.
Let me do it real quick online.
I'll let you go though. Thank you, Jaffe.
But where do I go to do it? Just type in Sora.
Well, I thought you might have already had a subscription. Do you not?
I probably do, but I just don't know.
And then you can just make you go to Sora Open AI, and then it should take you to the thing that was available like 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh, this is Chat GPT's thing.
Yeah. Do you have a subscription to them
I do. I do have
you should have the availability to just make a 5-second video with 720p resolution.
Okay.
And you just put in a prompt and it
I do it at Chat GPT or I do it at
You got to do it through the Sora. You got to like Sora, SORA is the name of the OpenAI.
Start now. Okay. All right. I'll look into it. Thanks, buddy.
It's
I'll
really
talk
cool.
to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Matt. All right. Well, I want to see this real quick. I want to see this real fast. And then we'll bring on Matt. 1 second, but I got to see this shit. Come on now. Show on stream. Okay. Okay. Well, this is not, I want to make my own shit. Log in. Fine. I'll log in if I have to. Somebody give me a prompt. Somebody type a good prompt. And if it's a good one, I'll use it. But I need it quick. I don't want to delay the show. Oh, I don't need help with the prompt. I don't know why they're asking me to log in. I fucking have this thing. Maybe if it doesn't work, I'll. Let's see. Sora. Jaffe fighting Asmig. Oh my god. All right. Chun-Li ass. Okay, hang on. I'm only gonna do one. Products. Sora. All right. Do I have to subscribe to Sora and? Because I'm already subscribed to the $20 a month thing. Oh my god! Don't make me do this. Come on. Oh my god! I might do this later, guys, and I'll share it with you because it's kind of a pain. Learn more. I don't want to learn more. I just want to do it. Fuck you, motherfucker. All right, hang on. Here we go. Yeah, I'm already subscribed. Continue. Okay, username. Oh, fine. Jesus, you know me. I thought you were AI. All right, there's my username. Okay. All right, I'll see if this works. Watch a quick. I don't want to watch a fucking introduction. Go fuck yourself. All right, we're going to describe the video. Here we go. Trump fan. Okay, here we go. Show on stream. Okay. Kratos salsa dancing. Diddy and Kratos. Tell it them. Let's not care who's a manifesto. I want something that we can really hear. How about this? I'll do my girlfriend. Taylor Swift swinging over NYC dressed as Spider-Man, battling the Green Goblin. All right, here we go. Added to the queue. All right, we'll come back and check on it in a few minutes, but let's talk to Matt first. Matt, it's Jaffe. What's going on, bud?
Not a lot. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. What's up? What shall we talk about, my dear, delightful friend?
If you want to keep going on the drone thing,
I want to talk about what your job right now, Maddie, is to entertain the audience. What do you think they want to talk about?
If you guys want to debunk that the drones are looking for nukes, I put something in the Discord.
Well, just give me the high concept. So why would they not be looking for nukes?
Well, all right. So basically, any nuke, like any real nuke, would be shielded, and you couldn't look for it the way people are. We've been.
You don't think the government has tech to be able to look for nukes in a way that are not?
So, like in shipping yards where they look for nuclear waste and stuff like that, the detector has to be pretty much like right up against the thing.
Okay, so let's assume for the moment that it's not a proper nuke, or maybe it's radioactive material to build.
If
a
it's
nuke,
just
but-
radioactive material, it would the person carrying it around would get radiation poisoning. Like
okay,
pretty
so
quickly.
so let's assume then that that's not that. Okay, so
I don't know
what
what
would
it
it be?
is. It's a
Well, yeah, but
government.
what could it be? I know it's government. I mean, it's
Yeah.
either government or it's aliens, right? It can't be. I cannot fathom, but I mean, maybe that's the problem. I cannot fathom it would be the Chinese or the Russians or an enemy. I cannot
Yeah, it's
fathom
not
that we
that.
would allow that much of interference without seeing at least our people trying to shoot this shit down. So let's assume it's not that. Let's assume it's our government and they're not looking for radioactive material. What are they doing that would cause them to lie? All the stuff that sounds benign. Oh, we're running classified tests. Don't worry about it. Or we are mapping out a new whatever. All those things they would just tell us without telling us what's classified.
Not necessarily. This is
Why?
the government we're talking about. I mean, this
No. The government would tell us though. Oh yeah, what you're seeing are classified tests. Of course, there are. There's no need to worry, but we can't tell you anymore, and that would shut the whole thing down in a heartbeat.
I got you, Jaffe. But the way the government works is like everything's very compartmentalized. So,
Yep.
like you don't. If I'm involved in the secret drone program, the guys in the FBI and the CIA aren't going to know that.
No, but Biden would know, don't you think?
Not necessarily.
Okay, well then that's a bigger problem then, because Biden's the one standing there yesterday telling us. Yeah.
That maybe the reason we're seeing it now is that they have clearance to do whatever tests under Biden, and they're afraid that Trump's about to come in office. Maybe we can't do these same tests once Trump comes in office. So they're just doing it at the end of Biden's
okay, I mean
term.
there's something interesting and that seems logical about that. Whatever they are, they certainly seem to be happening at a very interesting time. That's for sure. PG says, I said it before, we couldn't handle a Chinese spy balloon. Yeah, we could. We shot it down. We've shot down 4 of them.
Yeah, we just didn't want to piss off the Chinese.
Sure, but they all got, but every one of them got shot down. It was covered. You know, but this is not that. And plus, yeah, I mean, this is beyond a little balloon that flies in that we shoot down. This is happening all over the country, depending on who you ask. If it's the same thing, many places in the world. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about getting ready for disclosure? I mean, I would love that. I would love that this is a test to see how we handle it, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, sooner than later, we're going to have the government say there are UFOs. But I don't think that's this, right? I mean,
I think we're closer to disclosure. I mean, to be honest, I definitely think there's some kind of like trans-dimensional aliens that we don't really know. We're like, okay, we can see them, but we can't interact with them or whatever.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's time. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this planet the way it is. We need some new ideas. We need some new people to come in, or aliens or whatever, to come in and say, look, you guys, it's kind of like anything else. It's like, look, the worm turns and new ideas come in and new generation come in and give you some new thoughts. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of all these fucking bullshit crap we have to put up with. Maybe they did seed us here and they're coming back to sort of like, hey, it's time for a new shot. We evolved you guys, but to turn you into Homo sapiens. Now we're going to the next level because this isn't getting it done. Evolution's taking too long.
Do you like that theory that
I love
humans
that theory.
were kind of adapted chimps and
I mean, it's a fun theory. I have no evidence, or I haven't seen any.
Fun.
But it makes as much sense, if not more sense, than just some random sky god said, I'm going to make these people,
right.
But I mean, because at least we have no evidence of it, but we have enough weird things on cave walls, and we have enough of going that could happen based on how we understand science and how we assume we might even treat a basic civilization. If we found people on Mars one day or whatever, some other planet, but let's say it was Mars, and they were kind of like us, just coming out of the caves or not even coming out of the caves. There would be the people that say, don't bother them, don't let them know we're here. But come on, most people, at least that are human in the capitalist society, would say we need to evolve them as soon as possible so they can start spending money. And so if they could sort of, drop a bunch of invisible gas or whatever on those cave people, and they'd become us, maybe they're coming back and going, it's time for the booster shot,
Yeah, something
All right.
like that.
There you go. All right, Matt, thanks for calling, buddy. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem, man.
All right. Let's take a look at the AI here. We're going to look at it together. I have not seen it yet. So I typed in Taylor Swift dressed as Spider-Man swinging over New York City, fighting the Green Goblin. I don't know where would it be under recent? Nope. Would it be under saved? Nope. All videos. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see. I mean, look, it's not bad. It's not bad for, again, people, what's funny about this is a lot of people would say that, oh, it looks like shit. Well, again, so did Will Smith eating pasta. It looks like she's tooting out the Green Goblin out of her butt. I think they made me too, but that's not bad though. I know people, it's so funny. People just, it's like, is it not ready for prime time? Did the AI not take some text that I wrote and within 30 seconds create basically a video of an approximation of what I'm thinking about? No, it did. And it's fucking impressive as fuck. Cause imagine in a fucking year, I'm going to type a new one. I'm going to do one more, then we're going to move on. Let's do Sweet Tooth the Clown attacking a large living ice cream cone. I could just sit here and make a bunch of new Twisted Metal endings. That's what I'll do this afternoon. All right, let's see. I'll see how long it takes. It won't take long though. Sweet Tooth the Clown. It made this out of thin air. That shot is crazy, says Matthew. Yeah. All right, here we go. I don't know how long it takes. Doesn't take long. It takes about a minute, maybe. Put me in AI. I'll do it later. I don't want to trust me, I could now go down this rabbit hole and be here all day, or at least until I drain my account of tokens. I don't know how many you get per month, but I love my ChatGPT subscription. I pay $20 a month. We use it all the fucking time. Here we go. 91% done. 93% done. Are you ready for the new Twisted Metal ending? This is where Sweet Tooth tells Calypso. Oh, okay. What do we got here? Boys? It's the bad version of Sweet Tooth. It's not bad though. Oh my. It's kind of cool. There will be a time very soon where I can basically make the characters first and then say, I want to take that character and put that character in this. So it's actually what I want. We got a little ways to go, but this is cool. Let's look at the other one. What's this one look like? Come on now. That's pretty cool. And you ask these companies not to do this. Don't use this, Activision. Don't use this, Sony. Shut up. I get it. But, I'll tell you what, why don't you go shop somewhere where it costs a lot more money? It's super cool, Sky. Sky says, this is not cool, Jaffe. It's super cool. Fucking awesome. And look at what clearly you can do if you have skill, which I don't, right? I don't know the prompts. I don't know how to really master the system yet, but this is what people are doing who actually have some skill at this. That's not too shabby, my friends. Come on now. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy with his pasta. Look at this lady. Their stupid fucking fox. Look at that one. That one's cool. Look at this art style. Look at that art style. It is kind of Whole Foods, yeah. It's interesting. Who would have been messing with this shit oh, you would have been when you were a kid. Oh yeah, fuck yeah. And that's what I'm saying though. It doesn't matter. You've heard my views. I'm not going to get in. I'm going to bore you with my AI love. I love AI. You don't. I don't care. It's awesome. It's going to change the world for the better eventually after we get universal basic income. This is cool. All right, let's move on. Shall we? Let's look at the worst rated movies of 2024 for Metacritic. Here we go. Right, the specialized amount of porn this will create, says Mark. Yeah, but not in Florida or Alabama, right? But I mean, that's kind of what I was saying, by the way. I made a video the other day about all these people complaining about, oh, the character in Intergalactic or the characters in Concord or whatever. But, you know, eventually it is going to be a, hang on a sec. Hang on one sec, you guys. Oh, that's my kid. I got to call her back, but I'll talk to her on stream. This is so great. This is so great. Hang on. Oh, I'm so happy. Good for her. Let me see. I always got to take the calls when they're for my kids. Come on now. I do have I have this old phone. It's kind of on its last legs though. It's kind of dying, so I need to get another one. All right, hang on. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm streaming right now. You're on the stream, but oh my God, is that the dog? That's the dog. Is he happy? It's his first day out in 3 months. Oh, and is he kind? Is he sweet? You guys feel safe? He's sweet. We just picked him up like 5 minutes ago. Can I show him on the stream? Yeah. So now I'm showing his butthole. Thank you, Sarah. Tech Protect and Sarah, my child, are fostering a dog for the day, and he hasn't been outside in 3 months. Look at what's his name? His name's Pucker. Hi, you mother Pucker. Oh, the baby. Oh, okay. Look. This is his first day out in 3 months. He's real excited. I brought him some turkey. He won't eat it. He's just like looking out the window. Okay, look though. You guys be safe with this guy. You got mace or whatever just in case? You got a gun. Okay. Well, I hope not. All right. Okay. Well, I'm streaming, but call me later. Oh, good for you guys. I'm so glad you're doing that. Hi, Pucker. Oh, what a sweet boy. What a sweet boy. Oh. Yeah, if you're near Nevada, he's up for adoption, you know. All right. Well, call me in a little bit later. Okay. I want to hear how it goes. Take pictures. I love you, buddy. Bye, sweetheart. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. I love it. I love it. He hasn't been outside because he's in a shelter. He's in a kill shelter. And so my daughter is getting really interested in spending time with, helping animals and stuff like that. And so they're starting to adopt or foster for time to sort of, because this dog he's been in a cage for a long time because no one's adopted him. And so they're taking him to the park and they're, bought him a bunch of toys and, all that good stuff. So I'm glad. Oh, I got to get back on. Killer Heat is the 15th worst movie of the year. Jonathan says, Jaffe, where's your kid that her and her boyfriend that you need them to carry a gun? No, they're fostering a dog and it's a big dog. And I'm like, you don't know anything about the dog other than the foster place says, that it'll be fine. But you all, there were in the last month, there have been 2 people killed here in San Diego being mauled by dogs. And those dogs were their family dogs. There was like a 4-year-old kid last week that got mauled in the backyard by their family dog that she had grown up with. And then over the weekend, there was a guy in San Diego in a park that got mauled by his dog and killed in front of his fucking child. So, There you go. But that's why. They do have a yard. Oh, you mean the place that's keeping him? I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm just glad he's out and hopefully they're safe. Killer Heat is the 15th worst movie of the year. Has a 33 Metacritic score. I've never fucking heard of this movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Shailene Woodley are in the motion picture show. If you've seen it, here it is right here. The number 14th worst movie of the year is the Garfield movie. Is that with Bill Murray doing the voice? Chris Pratt did the voice. It got a 31 review on Metacritic. Has a lot of great voices. Chris Pratt, Samuel Jackson, Ving Rhames, Nicholas Hoult, Snoop Dogg, and Hannah Waddington and Brett Goldstein from Ted Lasso. It did pretty well, 250 million bucks. I'm not watching any more Deadpool or Wolverine unless my kid wants to. I thought it was fine. It's not bad. The Crow, the remake of The Crow came in at number 13, only has 30 out of 100. Pool Man, 29. That's a Chris Pine movie. He directed it, and nobody liked it. 29. Who did he get in this motion picture show? He got, says he's going for something like a Coen Brothers vibe, but it doesn't work at all. It's shockingly awful. Critics say simply one of the worst movies to ever play at a major festival. It's 100 minutes long, but upward of 99 of those minutes are likely to be spent in silent boredom. Okay, there's Danny DeVito, Chris Pine. Is that Annette Bening? I think so. I haven't heard of these either. Afterald. I don't know what the fuck that is. A horror film about an AI-powered smart home system that runs amok. It has 28%. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I mean, what did you expect? 27%. This is when they got the copyright release for Winnie the Pooh and everyone's doing shit with it. What is really cool, though, about this is when you see now, it really is neat to see Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, and Mickey Mouse in these horror movies. And I know that there are people that are doing like a shared universe of Disney bent horror characters. But it is really weird when you see them all together, their boxes like on a streaming service, and you're like, oh my God, you know, oh, it's Afraid is how you say it. Afraid. Oh, I get it. Okay. Fuck you. In Popeye. Yeah, there's a horror Popeye movie coming. That's right. Okay. Number 9, a movie called Mary, 27%. So I guess it's about Mary, the mother Mary. Borderlands, number 8, 26 score out of 100. 26. Alex S probably saw every one of these in the theater. So Borderlands, there you go, number 8. No interest in seeing it. Never had an interest in seeing it. History of Evil. Wait, isn't that the one about the killer from his perspective? No, that's something different. Biggest problem with this horror movie set in dystopian future in which right-wing militias have taken over parts of America and a family seeks shelter in a safe house haunted by a former KKK member. That sounds pretty cool. Few scares. Reviewers said poor acting and a script that hints at important issues without exploring them. Okay. History of Evil, number 26. Number 7, but at 26 review. Madam Web has 26 out of 100 review. Number 6 worst movie of the year. I saw this movie. I like this movie. I didn't like it like it's great, but it's like, it's, you know, stupid little fun matinee. It's not a bad movie. It's a fine little matinee movie. If you catch it and you see it, why not? It really wasn't that bad. It was, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, number 6, Madam Web, 26%. Number 5 is something called Crazy House. I've never heard of this. 1990 setup horror comedy filmed in part like a sitcom, complete with laugh track. Doesn't this already exist? Called Everybody Go Fuck Off Kevin or something. It has a laugh track and added violence. Stars Nick Frost, whose family is imprisoned by handymen who turn out to be criminals. It's the English language, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I mean, I think that's a neat idea. And there is a series on Netflix that does this. It's not horror, but it's really cool. It shifts between the style of this total goofy 80s, 90s sitcom. And then the woman, the mom, who's the put upon mom, then basically when she's not in that room with the family, it's like a real serious heavy drama and shit. It's really interesting. It's really fucking interesting. What's a matinee movie? It's kind of like, it's not like you go out and it's a big event, you're excited and it's a tentpole movie. It's more like, you taking the day off from work. It's a Tuesday afternoon. You're like, fuck it, I'll go to the movies. I'm out here at the mall anyway. And you watch, and it's like spring, and you watch it, and you get the popcorn. It's fun. It's a fun little diversion, I guess is what I would say. Number 4 is the Ronald Reagan movie with Denny Quaid. It's got 22 out of 100 rating. Nobody liked it. Nobody liked it. Number 3, Duchess, 22. Neil Marshall made The Descent, but apparently this was not good. It's gimmicky and violent action crime thriller set in the world of diamond smuggling. Okay. Number 2, worst movie of the year. City of Dreams. Never even heard of it. 14%. Young Mexican boy dreams of becoming a soccer star, but instead is trafficked into a sweatshop in LA called Sony Santa Monica. Come on now. Where he eventually plots his escape. What could have been an enlightening drama highlighting an important issue instead devolves quickly into torture porn. Jesus. City of Dreams, now the number 1 worst movie of the fucking year, according to Metacritic, which means according to lots and lots of critics, is a movie called Lamina. Literally 6% of critics liked it. Everybody else said, stay the fuck away. Starless, save for a brief appearance by Eric Roberts. I mean, is he really a star? That largely incompetent sci-fi action horror comedy thriller from director whatever follows a group of friends who uncover an alien government conspiracy searching for abducted friends. You may laugh at parts of it, but nearly 2-hour film is too far long. There are bad movies, says the critics, and then there are really bad movies, and then there's Lamina, a film so breathtaking in its overall incompetence. Hey, you haven't seen my movies yet, buddy. That one starts to wonder if it's not intentionally so in the hope of being the next The Room of Birdemic. Now I need to watch it. Is it streaming? Lumina. If it's streaming, we've found the next pot and popcorn. Is Lumina streaming? Where to watch? Oh, it's on Netflix. Okay. Fuck yeah. Sounds like a Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas and a Lumina double feature coming up. All right. Yeah, I got this service here. We can do this. All right, Lumina. I'll check out the trailer and make sure it's bad in a good way, but there you go. Okay. Let's do not a word. Let's give somebody a cool game. All right, let me explain this to you guys real quick. So not a word, and we're going to give away a copy. The people who make this game reached out to me and they said, hey, will you talk to people about our game? And I said, I don't know. Is it good? And they said, I don't know. Here it is, fucker. And so it's pretty interesting. And I think we can have a lot of fun with it on the stream. And then the winner of this contest, everybody in the chat can play. So put your fucking thinking caps on. You remember the thing? It's called Not a Word. Now, we're only going to be able to play the first half of it because there is a social component, or let me explain what the game is. So it's a game that comes with a bunch of these cards, quite a few, right? It's like lots of them. And that's all it is. Very simple game, party game, not a word. Okay. And on the flip side of each card is a word. It's a nonsense word. Here's one, Ezel, right? And if you were playing this with 4 to 8 people at home, it would work like this. You would say, okay, I would say the word is Ezel, and everybody would have 60 seconds, 75 seconds, whatever, to write a definition. And then there would be someone that says, okay, out of all these definitions who didn't write a definition, I say this one is the best one. And then the guy who picked the word, who also gets to write, I'm getting the people mixed up, but the gist of it is then someone on the team that makes sense would look at all the words and say, this is the best one. And then someone would have to say, okay, that was written by this person, right? And if you can guess who it was written by, you get the point. And if you pick the word, but you don't guess who it was written by, then the person who wrote the word gets the point. So we're not going to be able to do that. So here's how we're going to do it on this particular show. So there is the real twist in this, because there are games that do similar things, like someone is saying Balderdash. The twist in this one, though, is there's a strategy that forms, and not just guessing if the word is bullshit, because you already know the word is bullshit, but knowing that who's the one who actually created the definition that you like the most. And then you can kind of get in there and get real clever with like, okay, I know I'm playing with Rob the Mod and everybody knows how Rob writes. I'm going to write this to make it look like it's Rob the Mod, but then they're going to guess Rob the Mod and I'm going to get the points, but we're not going to be able to do that only because we don't have that all set up. But here's how we're going to play it on Gavin Games or Jaffe Stream. Sorry. And again, hit me up on DM if you win, or Twitter. And if you're comfortable, you'll need to be. Give me your address. I'll give it to the people who make the game. They'll send you a free copy. And it's, again, great Christmas game, great game to play. Or Hanukkah. We've got to talk about Hanukkah. Ask me about the Hanukkah man later. So this is a test, but this is how we're going to do it. So I would take a word. I would say, here's Jurl, right? And you would have about 60 seconds. I'll be doing some AI creation with Sora while we're waiting, so it's not terribly boring. And you need to come up with the definition for this word. And it's not a real word, right? So I will then pick the 3 that I like the most, and you guys in the YouTube will vote on the one. And then that person goes in the winner bucket. We'll do it 2 more times. And then those 3 winners will compete. And the winner of that, which you guys will vote on, ends up being the person who wins, right? So in the meantime, I will put on the screen, I'm going to go back to AI, so that'll function as our timer, right? So let's go back to, let's go back here. How do I get back to my prompts? Here we go. Okay. So, and try to keep it only 1 sentence if you can, only because it will allow me to put it into a poll easier. Otherwise, I don't think I have many characters. In fact, I think I only have, I don't have a lot. So, I'll do my best to, let me do a copy paste thing real quick. I wasn't set up for that, but it'll take 2 seconds. I'll just read them to you and then I'll give you ABC. Okay. All right, here we go. Here is the first word, if we are all ready. The first word is implunk. Implunk. IMPLN. Oh, let me make this bigger so you guys can see. All right, the first word of not a word is implunk. IMPLUNK. I will set 75 seconds. Set timer for 75 seconds. All right. 15 seconds. Counting down. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm looking for the first handful of them. When the timer's up, the ones that I get are the ones that are going to go, unless they're really bad. I'll just put the ones I like. Implunk. IMPLUNK. You guys are some nasty, filthy people. I just want to say, I'm reading these and I'm picking these, and you guys are some nasty fucking people. Some of you guys are very similar. All right, that's it. All right, here we go. We've got Eric Lennon, Gun, Matthew, Solid, and Warp Die were the guessers. Okay, so I am going to put up a poll on YouTube. It's just going to basically be, I hope I can do this. If not, we'll find a different way. Who wins? I can only do 4, so let me pick these 4 then, because the last one is too similar. So I'm gonna remove Solid Misters because it's too similar to Matthews, and that'll give me 4. So I'm gonna have to be the one who picks the best 4. Okay. So Eric is on the list. Here we go. Eric, Gun, Solid, and Warped. Okay. All right, here we go. Let me read them to you. This is Eric has said, implunk, hair that is grown in assholes. I'm sure you have a lot of experience with that, sir. Hair that is grown in assholes will be your first one. Let me put this up on the poll. There you go. You should see it now on YouTube. The second one comes from Gun, implunk. When you break the chair and fall on your ass is what implunk means. When you break the chair and fall on your ass. Matthew comes in with the third definition. When you take a shit and it makes a nice sound, implunk. Implunk is when you take a shit and it makes a nice sound. And then the last one is warp die, the sound of a large object dropping into a cavernous space filled with water. The sound of a large object. So we've got Eric with hair grows in your asshole. We've got Gun with when you break the chair and fall on your ass. Matthew, when you take a shit and it makes a nice sound. And Warp Die, the sound of a large object dropping into a cavernous space filled with water. Let's go and see who has won. Oh, it's a tie. Hang on. Okay. Warped gets it. Warp Die. Wow, you guys really voted for Warp Dies? I thought you guys would vote for the nasty ones. Nobody voted for Guns. Eric came in 3 about the hair. Solid came in at 2 with the a poop that imploded upon landing, and then Warped Eye comes in at number 1 with the large sound of an object dropping into a cavernous space filled with water. Okay, all right, here we go. So Warped is the winner of that. We'll do 2 more, and then we'll see who gets the free game. Okay, here we go. The next word. Everybody can vote. Everybody plays. It's just like Xbox. Nerdo. Nerto. 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 I didn't say it wasn't good. I just said nobody voted for it. Oh, you're yeah. Nerto. Nerto. Set timer 60 seconds.
1 minute. Counting down.
Matt, is that your guess? Okay. Come on, you guys. What are we doing? You have to pick the Prince Green says, wait, what are we doing? I just randomly voted. You have to pick the definition that someone that you think is the funniest or best or that you like the most that someone came up with for a nonsense word. So right now, people have about 30 seconds left to come up with a word for Nerto. Okay, all right. All right. We got 2 so far. Oh, okay. That's another one. That's pretty good. All right. All right. We got our 4. Yeah, you guys got to be fast because I'm only taking the top 4 unless it's like really, really good. Okay, here we go. We have I'm going to put these in the thing, in the poll. Here's a new poll. Here we go. Start a poll. Who won? So here's who we got, my delightful delinquents. We have Matthew. We have Sky. We have Doomslayer. And we have Warped Eye again. And yes, you can win more than once. All right, here we go. Here's the poll. Let me read them to you. Matthews was this. What does the word Nerto mean? Boom. Matthew says it means Alex. It's an inside joke. If you get it, you get it. But Nerto is Alex. Number 2 is Sky Gonzalez says Nerto means nerds who like Naruto from the My Hero Academia. Nerds who like Naruto. Number 3 is Doomslayer, who says when you nut without even touching your genitals. Nerdo. When you nut without even touching your genitals. And finally, Warped Eye comes in saying Nerdo is a medical condition that makes your toes sponge or foam-like. Sponge or foam-like. Okay. The winner, very clearly, is Doomslayer. When you nut without even touching your genitals. Okay, this is the last one, and then we get to the championship that determines who's getting the game. Okay, but that one goes to Doomslayer. So Warped Eye and Doomslayer, and then this is the last one. You have one more shot at this. Mom Spaghetti. Here we go. One more shot to pull it off. Let me pull this down here. Come on now. Hang on. All right. Frusco, Frusko. Come up with a word for Frusco. Frusco. Set timer for 75 seconds.
1 minute and 15 seconds.
Frusco. For example, if I were to come up with the word fruit, people are like, shut up, Jaffe. I'm thinking. Shut up. You shut up. Frusco. Fruit. Sco. Fruits go. I don't know. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm picking some good ones. I'm not going to pick the first 4 anymore because some of them are not as good as the others. So I'm going to pick the ones I think are best. That's probably a more fair way to do it because, you know. Okay. Okay, that's it. Well, time's not up yet. Now time's up. Okay. Here we go. Let me tell you the ones I've picked. Okay, the first one is Scoozer Boots. And let me put him on the thing real quick. Hang on. In the poll there. Okay. All right. Next poll. All right, one sec, fellas. All right, Scoozer Boots comes in with Fruit Lovers Convention is Frusco, a Fruit Lovers Convention. Wolfgang comes in number 2 at the moment. Well, not number 2, but the second one, a cop that frisks you, but you don't really mind it. Is Wolfgang's. A cop that frisks you and you don't really mind it is a Frusco. Frusco says Gun. I like this one. Let me put Gun up there. The official off-brand of Fresca. That's the one you get at the dollar store. Is the Fresca's already at the dollar store. This is like the 50-cent store. This is from Gun. And then finally, the last one on the list goes to Ravnos. Ravnos. When a lady inserts a fruit into her vagina, does Kegels, and excretes a smoothie onto a snow cone. I mean, I'd buy that for $1. Okay, Ravnos. Here we go. So let me give them to you again. There's the poll. It's up there now. Fruit Lovers Convention comes at us from Scoozer Boots. A cop that frisk you, but you don't really mind it, from Wolfgang. Frusco, the off-brand Fresca, comes from Gun Gun. And the last one is Ravno says, when a lady inserts a fruit into her vagina, does Kegels, and excretes a smoothie onto a snow cone. There is a runner-up that I just didn't have enough space. A type of cappuccino you order from Solid. It says type of cappuccino you order for a guy that you want a friend zone. That's such a good way to do it too. You're just like, oh, I'll have a Diet Coke and let me get him a Frusco. Although everybody would know it. So, all right, let's see who's got it. Yeah, of course. There was never any doubt. Ravnos. Okay, so here we go. Here are the winners. And then ultimately, you guys are going to have to vote. The audience is going to vote on who gets the free copy of the game. Okay. So this is a competition between Ravnos, Doomslayer, and Warped. Are you guys ready? Are you guys all ready? And if you are, then I will give you the final word and I will start the timer. In fact, let me set the poll first while you guys are getting ready. Okay. In poll. And then we've got, okay, start a poll. Who is the champ? Okay. I'll put Ravnos. Who else was it? Ravnos, Doomslayer, and Warped. Okay, it's ready to go. And again, what game? You're winning a copy of this game. The people who make Not a Word will send a copy to your home, hopefully before Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is you celebrate, but they'll send it to you. All right. Are you ready? We will begin. Everybody can write in whatever you want, but Ravenos, do you want a shot or you want me to give it to somebody else? So right now you were in the, okay, it says you said a sweet. Here we go. This is for Ravnos, Warped, and Doomslayer. You got 75 seconds for this word. Jurl. Jearl. Set timer for 75 seconds. The word is Jurl. Jearl. Rural Jurl. Hello, King's Dismal. Thanks for the sub, buddy. I appreciate it. Jearl. All right. 50 seconds left, boys. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get do I take game suggestions? What kind of games? Like board games or video games to play? What do you mean? Jearl. Okay. Okay. We got our first one coming in. All right. Not bad. All right. King Dismal depends. I mean, I'm interested in hearing what you'd like me to play, but it depends what it is. Yeah, Bubba.
Oh, I was gonna ask, can I use that hat? I'm going to the park. Can I use that hat? I'll make sure it's.
I don't really care. It's you. Be safe.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to the party, right?
Yeah.
All right. Have fun. Be safe. Call if you need me.
Love you.
Love you
I
too.
might not use this. I'm just gonna see.
I don't care. I have other hats if you want.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. All right. There's time. Okay. We got Doomslayers in. 1 second. And then we have Warped. Where's Warped? Did we get one from Warped Eye? Oh. Warped Eye, you literally just wrote I-E-Y? Okay. Am I right? Really? Was that a mistake or? Okay, fuck it. That's what you put in. You wrote the word I. Maybe that was your idea. I have no idea. Okay, that goes to Warped. Okay, here we go. Let me read you. What do you mean no? So you didn't submit one is what you're saying? Does it just come down to these two guys? Okay. In the meantime, no yet. Fuck it. He's saying no. I'm putting in. You can vote on them if you want to. Here we go. Putting the poll up. Putting the poll up right now. Okay. Ravno says his definition of the word jurl is when you ejaculate while watching My Name is Earl. I mean, come on now. Doomslayer says jurl, shaking your entire body to the point every crevice jiggles uncontrollably, almost orgasmic. And then Warped Eye wrote, I, jurl. Ravnos, and the poll is up. Vote. When you ejaculate, watching My Name is Earl is Ravnos's. Doomslayers is shaking your entire body to the point of every crevice jiggling uncontrollably, almost orgasmic. Warped Eye wrote the word I. That'll win. It'll be like Bodie McBoatface. Here we go. It's not close. I'm going to give you guys like 10 seconds, not 20 seconds. Yeah, Warped Eye getting 26% of the vote is the same reason Trump won. Sometimes you guys just like to troll vote. You shouldn't do it for president, but that's the way you fucking do it. Hello, Mass Produced. Good to see you, buddy. All right, here we go. Oh, no. All right, the voting is locked. Warped and Doomslayer tragically tie. The number one is Ravnos. Ravnos has won a copy of Not a Word. Ravnos, hit me up on DM. Congratulations. I will send your address to the game makers and they will send you a copy. It is fun. It is interesting. You can go to the website that I'll put a link in this if you're interested. Get a copy. Great party game. And again, what we're not able to do on today's show is the second part, where there's a whole deductive aspect to guess who wrote what definition. And there's a strategy about that. And you can fuck with your friends and stuff. Really, if you're looking for a fun thing to play after the presents are opened and you've argued with your family, check out Not a Word. It's out now. And I'll put the link in the to the website in the about when I'm done with this. I should have won. Hey, I can't help you. Ravnos got 41%. What do you want from me? I'm a true blue democracy fella. Okay. All right. Is the new state of Canada allowed to enter the contest? Says Scoozer Boots. Look, man. You know what Trump said? Again, I don't care who you voted for. I mean, I do, but I don't. But I mean, at this point, really, aren't you guys upset about the fact that eggs haven't gone down and Trump has said, hey, nothing I can do about it. It's going to be hard to lower prices. You guys didn't care. I mean, just at least own that. Own that a lot of you guys that voted for Trump didn't really give a fuck about policies. You don't even know how to spell the word policy. And you know good and goddamn well that wasn't, you did it to own the libs and liberal tears and blah, blah, blah. That's okay. At least you fucking got to own it. But don't act like, I want the prices to go down. This motherfucker, I can't do anything about that. But Canada, that'll be fun. Let's get Canada. Idiots. People like, Jaffe called me an idiot. Yeah, I did. If you voted for him and you're not upset. If you voted for Trump to bring the prices down and he said what he said and you're not upset and you didn't, and that's why you voted for him, you're an idiot. Yeah. Sorry. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. Here's the difference though. Quizcatol. Come on now. It says, dude, Biden pardoned his son, which we all said would happen if Kamala didn't win, and he did it, and we were called crazy for it. Let me explain something. Here's the difference between a lot of Democrats and most Republicans. Most Democrats think what he did was shitty. I like that he pardoned a bunch of people in jail for marijuana possession, but yeah, I agree. The man should not have voted. The man should not have pardoned his son. If he really thought his son being going to jail was some kind of, problem with the justice system, maybe at worst or at most what he should have done is gotten an independent counsel and said, you decide if this pardon goes through. But no, you're right. The left can shit on our people and we're okay with it. That's the difference. That's the difference. But you guys should be upset. RPG says you still have this deranged idea that conservatives are fucking hicks from the boons. I don't care where you're from, but if you vote for a guy and he says he's going to bring the prices down and then he doesn't, and then he says, it's too hard, and you don't feel slighted, yeah, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Not if you voted for Trump necessarily, but you probably are. Okay. Look, we don't have to agree politically. We can still be pals, maybe. Here's the point, though. Let's move on. How about that? How about that for a point? How about that for a point? What else do we got? Okay, remember I played this little ditty at the start of the show? I says to you, what is this? What is this song? This is amazing. And if you don't think this is amazing, you probably voted for Trump. That's all I'm saying. Matthew got it. Matthew's a well-educated young fella. I'm glad that we got people like Matthew in the world. This is Hurricane Hymn number 6, the oldest known piece of music, originating 1,300 years before Christ was said to have been born. 1,300 years before, right? So we're talking 3,324 years. This piece was unearthed in Syria, inscribed in the Hurrian language on a clay tablet that includes musical notes. And they decided to play it, record it, and that's what you're listening to. Think about that. I'm not saying there aren't older songs. Of course there are older songs. But this is the only song that we have that we know of as the oldest that has been actually written down. Isn't that something? Isn't that amazing? You ever see that show Devs? It's fucking great. And there's, say that, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's an idea of having something that will let you look in the past. Imagine looking into the past and seeing what people might be able to do it now. Imagine that. It's probably like a museum 1,000 years in the future, and people can go into like the 2024 room and just go up to a frame and set the time they want. They can just watch us. That's something. Okay, are you asking me? Please tell me this is not a question sent to me. OFC dude, you don't think drums has existed for thousands of years? Are you sending that to me? Is that to me, Katol? Please tell me you didn't write that for me. Okay. My favorite band is Girl Jam. Okay, so this is coming in from Ultra Pictures. Jaffe, strange question I had, which I'm nervous about. Why? Have you heard about the strange drone sightings nowadays? Sure, we talked a bunch about it earlier and a couple shows back. If you heard about it, do you think it's related to the orbs? You're talking about the orbs that either the paranormal orbs like Ghost, or you're talking about the flying orbs in the sky, which the same orbs that the plane talked about on that stream with the other guy. Oh, you're talking about the zero energy issue of the Malaysian air flight. I don't know. Let me You could probably use AI to work backwards and use it to look into the past, says Matthew. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. That's what it is on that show. Jaffe, you once said years ago you became successful in the industry because of political connections, and you would have been fired years ago without them. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll put that up and I won't forget to address it. But no, responding to the orbs and stuff, I don't know. I mean, I do think that the government has been working with all the zero energy shit for a while, but that's not what these things look like, at least according to people who have seen them. So I believe both things are real, but I don't know. I mean, again, if you are curious about the drones, all you need to know is what happened yesterday to know that we are absolutely not being given anywhere close to the true story. We are absolutely being lied to. And that's a problem, only because when the government says there's nothing to worry about, these are just commercial drones and they're piloted planes and helicopters. And then it turns out that later in the afternoon, that same day, they had classified meetings with the Senate about the drones. There's a problem. There's something going on that we're not supposed to know about, which is fine. But what's not fine is they're not saying there's something going on you're not supposed to know about. It's classified. It's defense. We got you. Don't worry about it, but we can't tell our enemy our secrets. That at least would go, okay, that's cool. Do your thing. Just don't hurt anybody. Don't violate anybody's rights, but do your thing. But they're not saying that. And that's a real problem. That's a real problem to me. Or it's not a problem like I'm mad, but it's a problem like what they're saying is a problem. Jaffe, you once said years ago you became successful in the game business because of political connections and you would have been fired years ago without them. What did you mean? It sounded sinister. Yeah, it wasn't sinister. It just meant that there were people within Sony, specifically, honestly, at first, Alan Becker, but there were a couple others along the way that said, this guy is real challenging to work with sometimes. He is demanding. He can be problematic, not like problematic like in today's definition, but, but I see something there and I like him and I think there's potential there and I'm going to run defense for him more than I would for other people. I benefited from that. I remember in high school, I benefited from that as well with, I had two teachers, Miss Dunham and Miss Henley, and I would leave school early all the time. And they would on the rare occasions, the principals who I hated got wind of it. And they were like, oh, okay, we've got him. They would just vouch for me and say, no, we sent him out to run an errand. And I would just go home and play video games. So, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Matthew says regarding the drones, being lied to is different than not telling us. But if your girlfriend starts hiding her text, it does make you suspicious. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. What if they found out it was Chinese drones? They might not want to make it public. Sure, I get it. But if it was Chinese drones, then we would at least have footage of we're trying to shoot these fucking things down, or we've taken these things down, or, I get they don't want to make it public, but it's a good point in the sense that if you're saying that the Chinese have drones that are so capable of pretty much not being able to be tracked and shot down by America, and if it turned out that the public knew that, it would cause panic. I think you're right, but we haven't even seen anyone trying to shoot these down and fail. We would have seen something, right? I imagine, but maybe I have no idea. Maybe they've already tried and they know they can't shoot them down. And so they're just not doing anything. I have no idea. I mean, I could see that being a possibility, but that would be a hell of a thing that the drone is so advanced from China or from any other country that we're not even capable of coming close. It's not even worth trying. I mean, that's some shit right there, but hell, maybe. But I don't think so. I don't think so. But it's possible. I think that's possible. I think the radiation story is possible. But, you know, hopefully we will eventually get to know sooner than later. Last thing I want to show you is I don't know about this. I don't know about how I feel about this. I mean, I don't care, of course. I like Justin Timberlake's music. But a lot of people are talking about this viral thing where he was performing in, I think, Nashville, and his pants were so tight you were able to see how small his penis was. And they're calling it his wardrobe malfunction, of course, going back to the Janet Jackson Super Bowl thing, blah, blah, blah. And there it is right there, if you can't tell. And it is really, really small. But the thing I don't understand is, would anyone be surprised? It's Justin Timberlake. I mean, did you think he was walking around with the fucking horse dick all this time? But also, it's not erect. I mean, if you have a penis, you know that it changes size drastically. And so he's singing Mirrors right now. You want him to have a big dick? Like, why would his dick be erect when he's just singing a song? I mean, that would be kind of strange. He's working. But I mean, again, you know, your mileage will vary, but I mean, I've seen a small dick before. I've told you guys about it. I was at this party in college and it was the guy's birthday and the strippers came and took off his clothes and he was walking around with the strippers. I'm like, holy shit. And I'm not judging. I didn't know they came that small. That was really fucking small. But this could just be a dick that's not working right now. Yeah, waiting for Brittany to comment. That's right. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It didn't strike me as something that he should be like, oh my God, they know I have a non-erect dick when I'm not doing anything that's sexual. But even if he did have a small dick, I mean, really, how is that a surprise? Like, you would be surprised if, I'm trying to think who you'd be surprised by. Like if a big football player had a teeny tiny little dick, you'd be like, that's not what I thought. Not that I've been thinking about their dicks very much, but now that I'm thinking about it, you think guys in the NBA or playing football have big dicks. Or if we're talking about movie stars, you know who's supposed to have a big fucking penis is, look at the views go up. You know who's supposed to have a big fucking penis is Willem Dafoe, apparently. You hear that story? They were shooting some movie and he had a full frontal nude scene is what the kids call it. And apparently when he showed up and showed the penis, they're like, we can't do this. It's so big. Seriously, I'm not fucking with you. It's so big that it would be distracting to the story. So I guess they got a stunt dick or something. I don't know. But yeah. But that's the story of Justin Timberlake and his small penis. So, fellas, Filettis, thank you for hanging out with me. That has been the Jaffe stream for whatever today is. What is today? Today's the 18th. I will be back a little bit later today with Gabbin and Games, probably around 3 or 4. Somebody over on Twitch had asked me about games. Do I take recommendations to stream games? If you're still here, I'll wait a little bit and talk to the chat. Let me know what game you got in mind. Right now, I'm trying to finish Indiana Jones because I'm very excited about coming up Monday with Victor Lucas. We're doing a deep dive live stream into Indy and the Great Circle. We also have lunch with Jaffe for members coming up on Thursday. But did I say Prime Gaming was on PS5? No, what I said was Luna, according to, let me get these members, by the way. I'm sorry. My interface is all fucked up today. Let me say thank you guys very, very, very much. We got Beaver Diva, which, come on now. Beaver Diva has stepped up and said, I like what you're selling, Jaffe. I would like to be a member of the Diet Soda Soldiers. And I appreciate that, Beaver Diva. We got Garrett has stepped up and said, I got a funny mustache in my avatar picture, and I'd like to be a member of the Diet Soda Soldiers. Garrett, I appreciate that. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy, for that very, very much. And then we got Zach, who's been a member for 43 months here. He says, Jaffe, Book of Revelation says this: rapture will come like a thief in the night. When people go missing, the government will blame aliens abducting. Wait, rapture will come like a thief in the night. When people go missing, the government will blame aliens. Why? If the rapture comes, who gives a shit? Who are they talking to? The Jews? The only people left are the Jews. They control the media. They can, I'm kidding. But seriously, but Zach thinks the drones are a cover because the government knows Revelations is coming. Come on now, Zach. I love you, but I need you back on your meds at least by Monday. Because they take 3 months to get into your system and actually affect things. You know that. Beaver Diva, Garrett, Zach, thank you guys tons for supporting the stream. No, so Luna, I went to the internet. I checked if Luna was on PS5. It said it was, but apparently it's not. So if you have Luna, you can get some of your Amazon Prime games streaming. And I'm like, oh, well, if you have a PS5 and Luna's on that, then you're good to go. Speaking of Revelations, by the way, did you ever see that wonderful TV show 6 Feet Under? And the way they opened every episode was somebody, it's about people who work in a funeral home. And every episode you'd get to see the person die that was going to be the body of the week, although it wasn't really about the body of the week, but that was how they opened each episode. And there would be very benign ways. People just passed away of old age, and there would be crazy ways. One of my favorites is this, these guys are working at like a party shop, and they are prepping for a bachelor party, and they've got all these blow up inflatable balloon dolls, and they put them in the back of their truck, and they're in LA, and they're heading down the freeway to get to where they have to drop them off for the party. You don't buy Luna. You can subscribe to Luna. In some games, if you have Amazon Prime, by the way, you get Luna. You get some games for free on Luna, but not on PlayStation 5. Anyway, so they're driving down the road, and behind them is this very religious woman who is driving her car, and she's listening to Christian radio, and she's singing about Christ and all this stuff. And suddenly, the rope that is keeping the inflatable filled with helium sex dolls down in the back of the truck breaks free, and all the sex dolls go floating up to the sky. And the woman behind her, the religious woman, sees it, and she thinks it's the rapture. And she says, Jesus, I'm coming. And she just jumps out of her car going 80 miles an hour, and she runs over herself and dies. It was awesome. All right. My dearest human beings, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for talking about some of the news of the day. I hope to see you later today on the proper Gabbing and Games or videos or whatever I stream. I appreciate you being part of our community. Be well, be safe, be flat, and I got to talk about that. The Sydney Sweeney thing. Speaking of be flat, come on now. I'll talk about it tomorrow. Remind me tomorrow. All right, be well. See you guys. Bye.